The enhancements to CareShield Life are timely as we approach a super-aged society in 2026. As the Minister mentioned, 1 in 2 residents is expected to develop severe disability in a lifetime. The caregiving needs will increase given smaller families shouldering the burden of caregiving and long-term care costs rising faster than general inflation. In Jalan Kayu and beyond, I've met families struggling to balance between caregiving, work, and the cost of care. Expenses for helpers and nursing homes can run into thousands per month. Even with subsidies, many middle-income households feel the strain. Caregivers often worry about how long they can keep going, physically, emotionally, and financially. They want their loved ones to be given the best care in the best way possible. That's why I agree this bill matters. We must ensure that CareShield Life give the real assurance to families when severe disabilities strike, that both the stricken person and the caregiver will have the support they need. Today, I'd like to touch on 3 areas: payout adequacy, premiums affordability, and in conjunction with CareShield Life, refresh our caregivers compact so that caregivers themselves are supported even as they care for their loved ones. First, on payout adequacy. We know that long-term care costs are rising faster than general inflation. The move to double the payout growth to 4% is welcome. But the key question remains: will payouts keep pace with actual costs of long-term care in the years ahead? To help Singaporeans plan ahead with confidence, I suggest pegging payouts to cover at least a certain proportion of long-term care costs. In other words, make the payout percentages to the estimated long-term care costs clearer. This would give families a clearer, better picture of what CareShield Life will cover, and importantly as well, what it will not cover, so that they can plan early for the rest of care needs through other sources or supplementary plans. I also seek clarity on the stopping of payout growth after age 67 or when claims are made, once claims are made. While I understand the median disability duration is about 4 years, there are 3 in 10 Singaporeans that could remain severely disabled for 10 years or more. Without continued payout growth, CareShield Life can fall short just when families need it most, as inflation steadily chips away at the real value of the payouts. I hope the Minister can share how the government will ensure that payouts will remain meaningful and adequate during the extended years when payout is needed. Because at its very heart, like what the Minister has mentioned, this is not just about the policy design, but assuring and giving ordinary Singaporeans the peace of mind, knowing that the premiums that they have paid faithfully over the years will translate into real assurance when CareShield Life payouts are needed most. My second point is on the affordability of premiums. I'm heartened by the SMS repeated assurance that no one will lose coverage because they cannot afford their premiums. This assurance matters deeply, and I'm glad I heard the Minister say it 2, if not 3 times. But even so, for many middle-income families, including those in Jalan Kayu who may not qualify for means-tested support, the worry is still real and remains. The 4% annual premium increase, especially after transitional subsidies taper off by 2030, can add up and eat into Medisave balances. To give families greater assurance, I suggest that premiums be capped at a fixed percentage of the median per capita household income. This ensures premiums remain fair and sustainable in line with wage growth over longer periods of time. It would also help if government could indicate what is the expected upper limit of premiums beyond 2030, so that Singaporeans can plan their finances with greater certainty. Pegging payouts and managing premiums in tandem would give Singaporeans a stronger sense of predictability and stability, knowing both what they can expect in payout support on the one hand and what premiums contribution is needed on the other hand. This clarity will go a long way in helping families plan responsibly without the anxiety of being overwhelmed when the care needs arise. Mr. Speaker, in conjunction with CareShield Life, we must also refresh our caregivers compact. We must ensure that caregivers themselves are not left behind. There are many areas of support we can and must strengthen, but today I want to focus on one, helping caregivers build up their own retirement adequacy. Many of our caregivers, especially and often women, spend years caring for loved ones, especially those that become severely disabled. Many make the difficult decision to leave the workforce. As a result, they may have smaller CPF balances and savings. Later in life, they may well struggle to afford the long-term care they themselves need. We must not let those who provided care in their younger years go without care in their own old age. I urge the government to consider providing CPF top-ups to primary caregivers who lack retirement savings due to caregiving. This would go some ways in giving them assurance that even as they care for others, they too will be cared for in turn. Mr. Speaker, it's timely to review the Caregiver Support Action Plan, which was launched 5 years ago. I hope the government can refresh the action plan to better recognize caregiver sacrifices, strengthen the ecosystem around them, and help them care for both their loved ones and, in time, for themselves. Mr. Speaker, in Chinese, please.
Our elderly have done a lot to bring us up. Now that we are grown up, we must also think of them and protect them, take care of them in their old age. CareShield Life is actually an important pillar in our country's long-term care. So in strengthening this plan, we must also ensure that it benefits those people who really need that. So we must do so through three means. First is that the payouts can cover at least X% of the estimated long-term care cost, giving families predictability to plan for their needs. Two, the premiums will remain within reach by capping the premiums at a fixed percentage of the median per capita household income, so that it will continue to be affordable. Third, that caregivers can receive the support they need so that they will be cared for even as they care for their loved ones. So I hope that the government can provide CPF subsidies and top up for these caretakers, because many of these caretakers, they have taken care of their loved ones, sacrificed their own career, and they don't have enough retirement savings. So we're obliged to also take care of them when they need us to.
Is a key pillar of our nation's approach to long-term care. It rests on the promise that when one pays premium faithfully through the working years, one can count on meaningful support when severe disability arises. As we strengthen the scheme, let us make sure it really better delivers the assurance that payouts can cover at least X% of estimated long-term care costs, giving families predictability to plan for their needs. That premiums will remain within reach by capping premiums at a fixed percentage of median per capita household income, and that caregivers receive the support they need so that they will be cared for even as they care for their loved ones now.